This week on American Airgunner, we'll be sitting down at the round table to discuss youth air guns and shooting tips. I'll be hanging out with a couple of girls from the boot campaign. And finally, the crew is heading to Missouri to hang out with Steve Kreiner. Let's walk a mile in the dog soldier's shoes. All this and more coming up right now.
I was born in Missouri, and I grew up in a town, Buffalo, Missouri. It was a small town. When you was kids, you just run around miles and miles every day of rivers, you know, chasing deer, turkeys, pretty much whatever we could hunt that was legal. And of course, like most kids, we started out with pellet guns. You know, we shot anything from bullfrogs, squirrels, rabbits, pretty much whatever you could shoot and eat. That's what was shot. So, you know, I turned 16, we got to driving, I started rodeoing when I was 12 or 13. I started riding bulls. I rodeoed all through high school. I would work all week at Sonic Drive-In in Buffalo flipping hamburgers. And from Thursday to Sunday, I was gone somewhere rodeoing. And then I kind of got back to cool down mode, I guess you could say. I quit fighting bulls when I was 21. And that's when I started getting focused again a lot on hunting. And of course, you know, air rifles were there, you know, they've been there my whole life, and they were there then and they're there now. You know, I've been around cattle my whole life. I never did own a lot of cattle. I've always owned horses. I decided a while back to get into the cattle business, and so my day pretty much consists of I get up in the morning. I've got two little girls, Zoe and Ellie. Zoe's 7, Ellie's 4. So I get up in the morning and I take them to school. And then I go feed cows. And then on top of this, I'm trying to keep my horses rode, and I'm trying to find time to team rope, and I'm trying to find time to keep my trigger finger good. But that's pretty much my day. I just get up, especially in the off season, I just get up, take care of my cows, take care of my kids the best I can, and keep shooting. And then you go to bed and start all over the next day. I rope both ends. I turn steers, which is head them, and I catch feet too. Right now I'm really focused on heading. I've been team roping about 16 years. Team roping's tough sometimes because from point A to B, which is the time you leave the box to the time you catch a steer, there's so many things that have to happen right. I think it's probably what I'm gonna do forever. Just something about leaving that box Mach 5, you know. You got the whole world in your hands and it's on you. That's pretty good feeling. I grew up hunting so much, and I love hunting, and there's only one thing I've done from the time I can remember to now that I've not either really slowed down or quit. I had a construction company for a lot of years, and then I decided to start doing outdoor television about 9 years ago. October 2007, this Predator Extreme, this was the first magazine that I was actually published in. Here's a few skulls. This hog, he got me down and wore me out pretty good and cut me up a little bit. And a 4-inch pocket knife and a pissed off cowboy, and this is what you get right here. Last month, I actually took my first mountain lion, and this is him. See these awards right here? I've got a couple of these. This is a second place in coyote vocalizations. This is in 2010. I took third in the prey and distress division the same weekend, and then I won the world championships, the all-around. But my grandfather actually died 45 minutes before I won the world championships, so it was kind of a bittersweet win. I decided to leave what I was doing and start a show called Dog Soldier, and this is actually the cover of season 1. And literally 3 months later, we were talking contracts for American Airgunner, so it was a pretty big step in my career forward. Sometimes you just gotta find that groove, and I found it. I found it with Dog Soldier. I'm a world champion predator caller. That's kind of my thing. And when Umarex asked me to join the American Airgunner team, it just topped it off. Like, now I'm having fun. Like, this is what it's all about. This is the place that I want to be.
When we come back, I'll be hanging out with the girls from the boot campaign and might even give them a lesson on shooting air guns. Well, something like that. American Airgunner is sponsored by Umarex, Zeroed In. Pyramid Air, America's largest retailer of air guns. By Hatsan, serious, solid impact. All right, so I'm here with two of the boot girls from one of my favorite charities, the Boot Campaign. Maria and Heather, thank you for coming out here and meeting me. So tell us, so everyone knows, what is the Boot Campaign?
The Boot Campaign is a non-profit organization. We support veterans like so many others do, but we are unique. We promote patriotism. We provide assistance. We do a lot of really cool programs. So we have an emergency fund program called Military Recovery Fund, and that's all the things that fall between the gaps. So their laptop got blown up with them, and the military may not cover that. You know, unique things like that.
Paying their electricity bill, really.
Yeah, I mean, small things, big things, emergency things, and we have something called FOOF, Faces of Our Freedom. We take them on experiences, boot ride in LA. We bring along a team of veterans who have this whole unique Hollywood experience that they wouldn't otherwise have. So we try to keep it fun and light.
All right, well, let's talk about the charity itself, the Boot Campaign. Get your boots on, all your slogans. Well, tell everybody, where does that come from and what exactly is that?
And when we started, we thought it'd be really cool to wear boots as a visible thank you. So we want to raise awareness by having civilians, 1.14 million civilians, get their boots on to represent every active duty military person.
The get your boots on thing is really taking off. Now who have you had and taken pictures of getting their boots on?
Everybody.
I mean, everybody, just give me like The Rock.
The Rock.
Right?
Randy Couture, obviously Marcus Luttrell, author of Lone Survivor, Dolly Parton, Leanne Tweeden.
Baseball players, football players, politicians.
Everybody, Democratic, Republican, I mean, just
Celebrities, music, everything.
Musicians, Olympians.
All right, so for the people out there that want to get some new boots, get their boots on, maybe get some jewelry or some apparel, where do they go?
Bootcampaign.com. And then you just click on the big word that says shop. Just know that every dollar you spend goes to a great cause and help our veterans and military and their family.
From everyone here at American Airgunner, go to Boot Campaign and get your boots on. All right, well, how about a little challenge? Me versus you two in an air gun shoot-off.
I will beat you.
Bring it on. You guys ready? Good luck. Good luck. Let the games begin. All right, girls, here we go. Are you ready for the competition?
I'm ready to win.
So we have 5 sweet guns here. Pick what you want. We've got the targets up there. We're gonna have a little competition. So what do you think? You wanna get a feel for them? Grab what you want?
I'm so experienced with
Let me
all of them
start.
that I'll just choose the closest.
I'm gonna take this one.
I'll do this one.
Oh, she's doing the big dog. This is the Smith & Wesson 586. Okay, we have our dinosaurs out there that we put together last night. Let's roll the camera on putting the dinosaurs together. That went well.
I could put one of them planes together, I just don't feel like it.
That's right.
All right, everybody glasses on. Safety first, perfect. All right, Heather, you're up. What do you got?
I'm gonna shoot the dinosaur.
Okay, good luck. Yeah, missed it.
Okay, I'm gonna shoot one of the dinosaurs.
Okay, good.
Shoot the one on top.
Okay, let's see.
All right, nice and like focus.
Oh!
A little high. All right, here we go. I'm going for the elephant, mastodon thingy, whatever.
Oh!
That wasn't even close.
Stegosaurus for Rhett Ruin.
Yeah! That girl!
Is that really a second?
All right. Yes!
Oh, nice.
You knocked his head off. Well done.
I do?
How are you aiming?
Nice.
Oh!
You chopped his leg off. Nice! I want to roll. Yeah! All right, I'm going for the airplane. Oh!
Oh, nice!
All right, girls, last 8 shots. Make them count. I'm gonna knock down the guy in the back corner. And it's dead. Again. Nice. Girls, well done. High five. Ba-bam. Ba-bam. Let's go to the tally board and see who won. And the winner is the Boot Girls. Now see, I got the fact that they added your scores together to beat me, I feel like it's a little unfair. But well done. It was me against you two, so it was 2 against 1. Good job, Boot Girls. Way to go, ladies. Heather, love you. Oh, come on. Make sure you go to Boot Campaign and get your boots on. When we return, it's time for a little more Kreiner. We'll be right back.
What's next for me? You know, I'm doing Dog Soldier. We're getting ready to start season 3. American Airgunner, I think now I'm on season 4. Everything's just going so good right now. I don't know what's next. You know, I wake up every morning, you know, a lot of people want to be somebody. I always tell everybody I just want to be the next Steve Kreiner. You know, the American Airgunner thing's really good. Dog Soldier's really good. I signed a huge branding deal with Plano Synergy, which owns Flextone Game Calls. You know, I don't know what's next. And I think I like it that way. I'm pretty driven, and I like working hard. I don't know where I'm going to end up, but I like where I'm going now. You know, the outdoors is such a good place to be in. You know, every now and then it's nice just to put things down and go live a little bit. If my show's airing and it's nice outside, I wouldn't blame them to DVR it and go do something outside, watch it later. I've shot a variety of pellet rifles my whole life, but since I started with American Airgunner, I've had the chance to shoot a lot of different air rifles. As a hunter, I do like a pre-charged pneumatic air rifle. They're a little easier to manage. They're a little more like a powder burner. As far as break barrel air rifles or springers or gas pistons, I've got 2 of them also. More traditional Springer, the RWS 460 Magnum, and then you got the Umarex Octane, which is one of my favorites. It's got a synthetic stock, it's got silent air technology, it's got everything really I want as a hunter, and it's very easy to manage.
The Air Arms has a great trigger on it. I got it about 3.5 pounds. That matches up perfect with my powder burner. So I know when I grab these rifles, whether I'm practicing or hunting, everything is the same from point A to point B. Point A being the time I look through my scope, point B being the time of impact. If you guys will utilize these tips, it's going to make you more efficient when you're practicing. It's also going to make you more efficient when you're hunting. Once again, I'm Steve Kreiner. This is American Airgunner. Catch you down the road.
Hey, I'm Rossi Morielli, and welcome to this year's new segment all about how air guns work. Today, we're talking about CO2-powered guns. Now, carbon dioxide, or CO2, has been used to power guns since at least the 1870s. But back in those days, you had to send your cylinders back to a central filling station because there was no places to buy the gas conveniently. Now, in the late 40s, Crossman marketed whole shooting galleries to companies as entertainment for their employees that used CO2 bottles. And Benjamin was making CO2 guns that used 8-gram cartridges, very small. But in the 1950s, the very common 12-gram Powerlet was born, which is the size the most action pistols use today. Now there's also 88-gram cylinders that are used in some pellet rifles, like this Walther lever action you can see right here in the stock. Just squeezes in and just gives you more gas so you can shoot the gun longer without having to change it out. Now, one of the coolest things about the CO2 guns is you can get these authentic replicas that closely match firearms in appearance, handling, and weight, just like this PPS. It feels exactly like the real firearm. And of course, the really cool ones, like one of my faves, bam, the Colt Peacemaker. I mean, this thing just makes me want to wear chaps and a cowboy hat, right? So the compact 12-gram and 88-gram CO2 capsules like these make it possible to build replicas of almost any kind of gun, pistols, rifles, you name it. But let's take a look at how these work. So the liquefied CO2 in the capsule enters the valve's chamber where it turns into a gas and can pass through and out the valve. Now, each time you squeeze the trigger, the hammer strikes the valve, releasing a certain amount of CO2 and, in result, forcing a pellet out of the barrel. Now, the valve spring then keeps tension on the valve and closes it so no more CO2 is released until the next trigger pull. Pretty cool, huh? And I'll tell you, these guns are as fun as any gun out there. Now, manufacturers like Umarex recommend that you put a drop of air gun oil like Pelgun or RWS chamber lube on the tip of each CO2 capsule before installing. This keeps the seals and valve lubricated to maintain a good working condition for years of shooting. So there you go, that's CO2 guns in a nutshell. Check out our website, AmericanAirgunner.com, for more tips and content, and we'll be right back after this. When we come back, it's time to sit down at the round table. This week's topic is youth and air guns. Hey, welcome to the round table. Today I'm joined by our gun critic here, Rick Usler, our hunter, Jim Chapman, and of course, the godfather of air guns, Mr. Tom Gaylord. Let's dive right into it. So today we're talking air guns for youth. And most importantly, I think we should start off, when is the right time to buy a young boy or girl an air gun? Is there a specific age?
I started with my kids about 8 years old.
Okay.
You know, when I thought I could sit down and have a reasonable discussion with them, I thought they were responsible enough that they could start to handle it under very close supervision.
Nothing says reasonable like an 8-year-old.
You speak from experience, don't you?
Age-wise, it's real more maturity level, right, than a specific age.
This is my rule. If the child has the right, mentally is in the position and responsible enough, and they're able to find a gun that properly fits them.
Mm-hmm.
If it has to fit right and they have to be able to handle it properly. I've been to a lot of shoots where, young people are and I'm, 5, 6, 7 kids or parents are giving them the guns and they're just unwieldy with the thing and they're trying to shoot it like this. Yeah, and they're going to learn bad habits that way.
When they get interested in the shooting, you show them,
right,
this is the bad end, things come out of here, this is the trigger, we keep our fingers off of that. Every time I'm not in the room, you're not anywhere near the gun.
What's different when we were kids is choice. When we were kids, if you wanted to start with a gun, it was pretty much a Daisy Red Ryder. But now you can go from a break barrel, like an adult gun, just scaled down. You can go to CO2 guns, or you can have multi-pump, which is the next step up for us. When I was a kid, we started with that Daisy Red Ryder, but the next was to go to a Sheridan.
Oh, that was so cool.
Well, let's break this down for the people out there, the moms and the dads that have searched this out or watching the show to actually find out what should I do and what should I go buy.
Right next to you is, I believe, your pellet pistol or your father's?
My gun that my dad, when I was a child, I had it, but I wasn't allowed to touch it. If that makes any sense. Obviously, I took really good care of my guns. This is rust here in this section, and then back here is rust.
The point I want to make is that is not what to give a youth for the first gun, because you're so easily able to move the muzzle of that gun around.
All right, well, so let's take a look at some of these guns. Obviously, this is the NXG APX here from Umarex. This is a BB and a pellet gun.
Let me see this real quick, because this being a new gun for Umarex, it has the cool feature of having an automatic safety, which is a unique thing for multi-pumps. When you pull this out, it automatically puts the safety on.
Nice.
So that's a really cool thing. When it comes to sizing, the common thing is to put the butt of the rifle in your I guess elbow there, and bring your hand up and see where your finger falls.
Okay.
And if you're in that first joint area, then that's about the right size for the child.
Okay.
If they can't reach that, then the gun's too big for them.
What was the gun that your daughter was using?
So this is the rifle that Naomi was using, and if you notice, it's adjustable.
Yeah.
This type of product is great for the youngster and the adult to have fun with.
And I mean, obviously this is a super fun gun, but there's nothing cuter than when a 5-year-old pulls out, and a assault rifle looking air gun and is like, bring it on, and hers has like all kinds of sights and lasers and I was like, who are they? She put on eye black and very, very, very intimidating. So, okay, so this is something I think a lot of people might not even think of. Is something like this can be a great first gun, even though it looks a little different than our average rifles.
We have a scoped air gun, and I know scopes are way cool. Don't train your kid with a scope. That is not the place to start. If you don't start out with open sights and they have to learn proper sight alignment, they will never go back to it and pick it up again. They will always use the crutch of a scope. Scopes are wonderful, but only after you've learned how to use open sights.
I was gonna say this, but this gun, this is that Umarex Fusion. Now this is a smaller version of this gun, right, for youth. But they also have this as a gun that you can get in a larger adult size. With the CO2, I think an added plus is that when the CO2's out, if
Bingo.
they do get their hands on it,
Yeah.
it is as safe as safe can.
both things.
Right.
Yes.
I love guns. I grew up with guns. My nephews have guns. I've been out there with exactly, they do this thing, and they got their head down. It's like, You want to be smart. I think there's a lot of men out there, especially when they get that sun, they want to get that gun in their hands as soon as possible. And I think we want to make sure that we're saying you got to be safe and make sure that you're always saying, no matter what kind of gun it is, it's not a toy, right? Next week on American Airgunner, Jim Chapman is back, and this time he's on the East Coast in the great state of Virginia, hunting the majestic white-tailed deer. We'll get a one-on-one lesson on the increasingly popular airgun 3-gun competition circuit, and of course, we'll be sitting down at the round table. Next week, we're talking all about airgun scopes and mounts. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.
Do you need me to show you?
Do you want to use my gun?
You two stay right here.
We're waiting.